Hi guys, today I thought I'd show you how to make a blue Prase Pyrite. Now they do come in different colours, but I'm going with these colours and I'm using all Cernit clay. So you're going to need some Cernit Translucent, some translucent Cernit Emerald, some translucent blue turquoise, and some metallic turquoise, and I've rolled those into my little teardrop shapes and put them all together because I'm going to make a skinner blend from those. You will also need some of Cernit's metallic antique gold and Cernit's translucent amber, which I've got a little lump there, and you'll also need an extra little piece of the translucent turquoise blue, but they're all for down the road, so I'm just going to put those to one side. You will also need some translucent liquid Sculpey and gold or copper leaf. I'm using copper, blade and a roller, and you're also going to need some cutters or moulds of your choice. I'm actually using these ones today. Now a guy from Russia who owns an Etsy shop, it's called Yaroslav Molds, kindly got in touch with me and offered to give me some free molds if I was willing to show them in my tutorials. He sent me a few, but I'm going to be using these two today, and I have used them and they are so nice. The shapes are so pretty, and they come out of the molds beautifully as well. So I will leave the link to his Etsy shop, but that's Yaroslav Molds. Alright, so they're the things that you're going to need. Hopefully I've not forgotten anything like I normally do. And I've put these colours together and I'm just going to make a quick blend out of them. So I'm just going to give them a quick roll just to make sure they're stuck together. And then I'm going to put this through the pasta machine, so it's going to be down through the pasta machine, fold down until you've got the blend that you want. So I'm going to go and do that off camera and I'll be back. Okay, I've got my skinner blend, but now I want to take this and fold it on itself colour to colour like this, so we've got a thinner blend. And I'm going to put this back through the pasta machine lengthways, going down this way, and I'm going to take this down to a number 6 on my pasta machine. Mine is an Atlas 150, 0 being the thickest setting, 9 being the thinnest. So I'm taking this onto a number 6. Once I've done that, I'll be back. Alright guys, so I've got my long strip of clay rolled onto a number 6. Oops. And I'm just going to start to turn it into an accordion fold, fan fold. So I'm just going to do this. Just keep folding it back on itself all through the length of the clay. If you can't see what I'm doing is I'm folding it and then I'm folding it this way as well. Not very neatly, I might add. Oops. This clay is so sticky, I should have probably leached it first, but I didn't. Right. So there's my very rough fan fold. And all I'm going to do now is turn it into a little square block, like so. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is get my gold antique clay, and you just need to roll that into a very thin sausage. You actually don't need that much of this because you are rolling it out so thin. A little goes a long way. Don't worry about it being perfectly level, it doesn't matter. So there's that. And I did forget something, you do need a needle tool as well. Alright, so I've got my antique gold rolled out. I'm also going to need some of this amber clay in this section as well. And you also need to use up this little piece of I can't speak again today, translucent turquoise blue. So I'm just going to roll this out onto my pasta machine, and it's going to be on a number 9, so the thinnest setting on your pasta machine. I might as well do that now, that way I won't forget anything. So I'm just rolling this onto a number 9. So there's that. Okay, and in this section you'll also need your gold or copper leaf. And now all I'm going to do is cut a random spot in the block, doesn't matter where, and I'm just going to put some indentations in the clay. Don't worry about it getting all smushed because it's all going to be put back together. So I'm just pushing some of these indentations in there, just 3 or 4, and then when you've done that, you're going to take that gold log and just put a piece of it into each of those indentations, like so. And I'm not being overly tidy about it, but I will get rid of those bits that are hanging over. Alright, so you've done that, and then you're going to put your piece back together, like so. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing in a random spot, and you can overlap where you've already cut. Can you see I went that way and now I'm going this way, and it's actually going through that original cut? That's great, that doesn't matter. And you're just going to do the same thing again, a few indentations, like so, and then your gold clay, antique gold clay, going in those indentations again. Like that, and then again piece it back together. Don't worry about it losing its shape because it is going to be, like I say, reshaped. Now I'm thinking I might need a little bit more of that. I'm just thinking where I want it to go. I think I'll go fairly close to the original slice, and then the same thing, make those indentations, and then put those strips of clay in there. This piece is getting distorted as you go, and that's what you want. You really want a lot of distortion in this to really get that pattern showing through. Alright, and I'm thinking maybe one more cut of this for the gold strips, logs, snakes, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so again I'm just taking my antique gold, which is sticking to my tile, and just putting it in those indentations, trying to. Okay, like that. And then again, smush your piece back together, and yeah, it looks like a distorted mess. It's fine, don't panic. So let's just square it back off again, like that. And I might come back to this in a minute. I'll see if I need to add some more of that, but for now I'm just going to go on to the next stage, and that is to make another cut like this, and get your piece of translucent amber and just smush it. This doesn't have to be perfectly neat and tidy. You just wanting to get that look in there by adding little bits of colour here and there. So I'm just placing that there. I don't care if it doesn't even exactly fit, but I know that it's in there. Alright, and I'm going to do the same here. Just cut that little corner off. Same thing. Just smush a piece of that amber clay and place it on that where you cut that open. I don't care if it's thicker in some places, thinner, it doesn't matter. Alright, so I think that's all the amber I'm going to add, maybe, but we'll see. Now what I want to do is take this extra thin piece of translucent turquoise blue. Let me just bring it over here so you can see. And same thing. I'm going to start cutting in random places yet again. Oh my gosh, this is breaking. It's so sticky. And oops, it's sticking to everything, guys. Alright, I'm just going to take a strip of this and hope it doesn't break when I lift it. Like this, and I'm just going to place it where I cut it open and then push it back together, and then I'm going to do the same over here and just stick another piece in there like so. I don't care if it overlaps, and push it back together. And I think I'm going to add some more of that, so I'm going to go here and add this in the mix. I really should have bleached that, that is mega sticky. Okay, so I've got all my little colours in there. Might return to all three of them, we'll see as we go along, because now I want to mush this together, make sure it's nice and square. Okay, and remember this is the top, you've got to always try and keep it on the top like that. Now what I'm going to do is cut through this again, just little sections here and there, and I'm going to take the piece I've cut and add it somewhere else. Yes, it's losing its square shape, don't worry about that. And I'm just going to take another, let me think, I want to try and keep this gold fairly close together, so I've got to be careful with this one. I'm going to take that there and put that there. This just means that the colours are all getting kind of mixed in a different formation, and I'm going to put that there. So I've kind of kept those gold pieces closer together. Alright, take it back into a rough square, doesn't have to be perfect at this point. And now what I'm going to do is take another little cut, but I'm going to turn it the other way and place it somewhere else. And I'm going to take another little cut, turn it the other way. Wait, let me just think about what I did there. Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to stick that there like that. Let's get it back into a block again. And I'm just thinking maybe, Now I think I'm good. But now I want to add some of this copper leaf as well, which I'll be honest, I almost forgot about. So I'm just going to cut it open again like I have been doing and add in this, and I'm just stuffing it in there. And hoping it will stick. Alright, and to help it stick, I'm using some translucent liquid Sculpey. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on the other side of the cut. I'm going to take my piece and smush it on there, like so. And then I'm going to add another section of that. Just stuff it in there. Stick to the clay, not me. This clay is so sticky, and yet this copper leaf isn't sticking to it very well. It likes to stick to me though. Oops, that bit came away. Alright, I'm getting in a mess with this. I'm just going to put that down. And then don't forget to add your liquid Sculpey on the other side of the cut. And then smush it back together. Like this. Don't panic if it doesn't stick straight away, just keep working with the clay and it will eventually. Now I think I'm going to add some more of that gold, so I'm just going to do another cut through here and add some more. I'm not even concerned if it's a single layer of this copper leaf, it can be you know, thicker pieces of it in there. That actually looks quite good. And then the liquid clay again, and make sure it is translucent, guys. And then, right, which way did I go? That way. Stick it back in there like that. And then let's get it back into a square. Now you can add as much of that copper leaf as you want, but that's all I'm adding. Some of the Prase Pyrite has quite a lot of the gold veining running over it, but I didn't want that much of it, so that's all I'm going to do with that. And I think I'm good with the amber, and I think I'm good with the gold logs. Maybe. I'm just thinking. Do you know what? I am going to add a little bit more of the antique gold. So I'm just going to take another cut, get my needle tool, and just let's add a few more little pieces of that in there. Yeah. So again, same thing, you can add as much of this as you want. I'm keeping it more so you can see the bluey colours with just a hint of the inclusions. Alright, so that's that last piece. It needs to go back there. So I've got a nice little cluster of the gold there, which is what I wanted. Alright, and then the last step, let's get it into a nice neat square now. And that way we're getting it all nicely stuck back together as well. Although having said that, I am going to cut into it one more time. But this is just for making some fractures. So take your blade, blunt side down, and just cut all the way through, whichever way you want it to go. You can even do a little curve here and there. And that's it. And now we've got to push it all back together again. and really make sure it's stuck back together, particularly with that gold copper or copper leaf. Okay, so there's that, and I'm just going to get some card ready. Whoops, sorry guys, I knocked the camera. Alright, so we've got our block, and this is always a moment of truth because you never know how it's going to turn out with this kind of technique. But I have done several and it's always turned out pretty nice. So, alright, so I'm going to take my mould that Yaroslav Molds kindly gave to me. I'm just putting it out there, guys, because he needs promoting. His moulds are amazing. Okay, so I'm going to use this mould. And I'm going to take a fairly thick slice, well, as thick as it's going to be needed for the mould, and just cut straight into it. Now this is what it looks like now. Now what I also like to do, you can see those lines of gold, copper running through there, but I like to give it a bit of a roll, and that way it kind of mushes that copper leaf over the edges to give that veiny look, which is what I want. So can you see what I mean? It's kind of oozed out now, and it's not just in the crack, it's actually on the surface of the clay. So I like to do that. I also like to burnish it. Now the last batch of these I made, I didn't burnish it, and I didn't burnish it deliberately. And so the choice is yours whether you burnish it or not. I didn't deliberately burnish it, and it left some little pits, some divots in the surface of the clay, but I actually kind of liked it because it gave it a very realistic look. So if you don't want to burn, I mean, give it a little bit of a rub. You don't want it completely pitted, but you know, however you want to do it. So I'm just getting this into the rough shape of the mould, and I'm just going to cram it in there. I'm trying to get it as level as I can, don't want any bumpy bits. Oops. I'm just really pushing it in there, making sure it's in there, and then I'm going to give the back a roll. Oops. See what I mean? This clay is mega sticky. Hee. Right. Okay. Oh my gosh. Stop sticking to me. Alright. And then I'm obviously going to get rid of... I'm just going to see where the edge of that mould is. Just try and get it in there nice and tight. I don't use moulds very often, so I'm a little bit nervous of them still. But you can see it's quite thick in the middle, but I'm just getting it pushed in towards the edges for now. And then I'm just going to remove this excess thickness here. And these bits can be reused. You can make some little earrings or something, because it's still going to have a cool effect, look. A bit more here. And this is what I like about this as well, there's hardly any waste, and especially if you use these little pieces that you've cut off the back, they still look really nice. I'm just trying to get this as level as I can. Which is a little tricky because it's Cernit and it's sticky. And it kind of pulls back up again a little bit. So if it does that, just go back in there, make sure it's right up to the edge of the mould. And then I'm going to give it a burnish. So it's nice and smooth on the back, because obviously that is going to be the back of the piece. So I want to get that as nice and smooth as I possibly can. Right, I've got to demould this now. This always scares me a little bit as well, because is it going to come out crooked? I'm just checking before I do it. Alright, so I'm just going to gently pull away at all the edges and then pop it out, and there we go. I'm just going to put that on my card. Give it a little burnish, not too much. So there's that piece. Look how cool that shape is. I absolutely love that shape. Alright, so there's that one, and I am going to show you the heart one as well, because if you see from the pictures in the video, I got my inspiration from a heart-shaped aqua blue Prase Pyrite. This is not particularly aqua blue, but like I say, they come in different colours. Alright, so I'm going to take my block again. Have I got this the right way up? I think so. And I'm just going to take a fairly thick chunk. And again, just give it a rough shape of the mould, just so you know it's going to fit in easily. Just plonk that in there. I might need to fill this out with more clay, we'll see. Give it a nice mush. Actually, I think I got that just about perfect. Don't think I need to even cut any away on this one. Nope, that's good. Just making sure it's all the way to the edges. Give it another quick burnish. And then same thing. I'm just checking it before I do it. Same thing, I'm just going to push it around all the sides, and then it's easy to flip out, and there's the heart. And I absolutely love the heart as well. So they're the two pieces that are going in the oven. I've still got some left. I could probably get another 2 pendants out of this, or pair of earrings, whatever. So that little block actually goes quite a long way. And I just absolutely love the shapes of these. So I'm going to go and put these in the oven. Now this is what they look like pre-baked. They're going to look a little bit different once they're baked, and you'll see when I come back to show you. Now guys, I'm not going to resin these because they are domed, and I personally don't want them resin because I want to keep the natural look of the stone. So they are going to get a thorough sand and a good buff. I will also leave a link to my tutorial of how I do that. So when I come back, you will actually see the finished piece. So in a minute, guys. Alright guys, they've been baked, sanded and buffed, and this is the outcome. I don't know if you can remember what they look like pre-baked, but it does look different, because now it's baked. Obviously it's baked the colour it's supposed to be. So that's the heart that I made. I've not decided how I'm going to, I don't think I'm going to do a pinch bell. I think I might do, I think this would look really nice with a string of turquoisey coloured beads or something. I've not fully decided, but anyway, it's a cabochon and you can do what you want with it. So there's that one. And then here's the other one that I did. And they look just as nice on the back as well. And then I did a different shape as well, just so you can see. And there's this one too. Sanded and buffed all the way around. So there's those from today, and I'll just quickly show you some more. Exactly the same shapes, different batch, not much difference to them. I think there's slightly more of the emerald in this one, but you can play around with the colours and you can decide on where you put your amber and your gold and all the rest of it to get those different looks. But there you go, guys, that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.